time has come to once again answer life's most savory question. Whose cuisine reigns supreme? This is Iron Chef America.
Three, two, one. Time's up.
A delectable Japanese tradition has taken root in American soil. We have been graced with the establishment of our very own kitchen stadium, where our nimble chairman has brought together the pungent flavors of East and West. It is here where the best of the best from around the world meet and face the ultimate gourmet challenge. Army of top-notch culinarians and a big old batch of skilled television professionals crank out the best reality, variety, culinary combat show on the face of the earth. Why do we do it? Because the chairman wants it that way, and we live to serve the chairman. So please allow me to introduce a veritable pantheon of culinary giants. Your very own Iron Chefs, America. Iron Chef Bobby Flay. Iron Chef Masaharu Morimoto. Iron Chef Mario Batali. And Iron Chef Kat Cora. In mere moments, one of these Iron Chefs will be pitted against our challenger, who thirsts to discover our secret ingredient and enter the heat of battle here in Kitchen Stadium. Today's challenger had the honor of serving the first family of the United States as executive chef at the White House from 1994 until 2005. He is passionate about America's bounty, which is why he founded the American Chef, a company that recreates White House-style special events organized by the ultimate White House culinary insider. The chairman now welcomes Chef Walter Schad.
Shai, welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
You have created state dinners and late-night snacks for presidents. But are you prepared for Kitchen Stadium?
Let's get it on.
Which of the Iron Chefs would you like to test yourself against?
I think based on our use of great American ingredients and great full flavors, I challenge Iron Chef Kat Cora.
Excellent choice. Now, let the battle begin!
Wow, what a great choice by the challenger. Chef Scheib knows that Iron Chef Cora is a master at blending her southern roots with the cuisine of her Greek heritage, so he must feel confident that his passion for classic American flavors will be enough to challenge Iron Chef Cora.
But there is one more ingredient to this battle. Our secret ingredient. The theme on which our chefs will offer their succulent variations. Today's secret ingredient is Dungeness crab! So now, America, with an open heart and an empty stomach, I say unto you in the words of my uncle,
boys, you got a date with destiny. And Battle Cancer Magister is on. The Dungeness crab, famed of the west coast of the United States. And we see several quickly going to their maker over on Iron Chef Kat Cora's side. They're filling 2 gigantic pots of boiling water just to the absolute top. Over on the challenger side, Walter Scheib taking a little more of a leisurely approach, letting his crabs kind of scuttle around there on the countertop for a bit. And we see prep work going down very quickly on that side. Both of these men worked with Chef Scheib in the White House, so they are all very used to each other's style and speeds. Sous Chef Patrice breaking down some onions there. Chef Scheib now with some plantains out on his board. He is running those through a mandolin. Maybe that he's slicing those to fry them to make chips. Or he could bake them, roast them, there's no telling. Iron Chef Kat Cora loading up her little mini food processor bowl there with what looks to be some escalets. Those are a fiery pepper found mostly in the Basque region of France. some red bell peppers, and now onion going into that processor as well. And we've got some wok action already happening over on the Challenger side. I see some bay leaf in there. We've also got some garlic, leeks, carrot, thyme, some onions with the skins, which is interesting. You can see plantain strips already over in the deep fryer. So Chef Shad isn't two chips. Sous Chef Vincent starting to break down some crab. These are the ones that Chef Shad dropped off on his board earlier. And let's go down on the floor and check in with my friend Kevin Brosh. How are things, Kevin?
Well, you're in good shape, Alton. You're seeing most of what's happening here in Kitchen Stadium. On the Challenger side, Sous Chef Patrice was taking some of the Dungy crabs, splitting them right down the middle, scooping out the inside meat. And the only thing a bit of weird on the Challenger side, this microwave.
You know, I, for one, am glad to see a microwave. They're very practical tools. They're very predictable.
Brian, one of the sous chefs on Cat Cora's side of Kitchen Stadium, put some tapioca into a pot and is sliced some chorizo into a pot of dark chicken stock.
So right now we're seeing mostly the kind of work that produces those flavor bases. Looking at the wok over on the Challenger side, we saw a lot of crabs go into that. This is mostly shells and legs. No, there's definitely some whole meat there as well. I see Sous Chef Patrice is now chopping some carrots and celery, some fennel on that board too. That Patrice is a slicing and dicing machine. We should just call him Patrice-matic. Let's take a look over on Iron Chef Kat Cora's side. She has added some egg to the items in the hand blender and then pureed it all. That puree now going into a bowl. Her sous chef Eric cracking some eggs into a bowl. The Iron Chef now cutting up some chilies. We can see her splitting that down the middle and then doing a julienne cut on that long ways. We can see Patrice taking apart some sweet potatoes, it appears, very, very quickly. My goodness, but he's good.
Earlier, he was working on a classic mirepoix of onions, carrots, and celery. I don't know where that's gone.
That has actually gone into one of those pots on the stove with some crabs, but we'll keep an eye on it. We can now see Chef Shad filleting some large tomatoes. You see him scooping down that paring knife, taking out the inside. He's really just wanting the outer flesh, or what we call the fillet of the tomato. His sous chef Vincent has taken the crab out of the wok and put that into a pan. Those crabs now headed into the oven. Sous chef Patrice now dropping the sweet potato into a pot with onion and olive oil. Kat Cora, ginger on her board.
Yep. Galangal, yeah.
I'm sorry, it is galangal, which is a member, very close cousin to ginger, but has a slightly, I think, more kind of a peppery, more pronounced flavor. The Iron Chef's crab still boiling away in that pot. Her sous chef Eric is working with some black hibiscus tea and gelatin. Tea jello, cool. The Iron Chef has combined her diced peppers and galangal, and she's spooning out some avocados now. Very, very quiet here in Kitchen Stadium. As I look around, still a lot of prep work, slicing and dicing going on the Challenger's board. We've got some onion in a pot there. Also on the Challenger side, I see sous chef Patrice peeling the husks off of some corn. Those now going onto a burner. On Kat Cora's side, Eric is slicing up some Asian pear, a little crisper, I think, than most American varieties, and with a slight apple twang to them. See some brandy coming out over on the Challenger side. Sous Chef Patrice setting the pot of mirepoix and crab on fire. The alcohol quickly burning off, of course, and some stock being added to that pot now.
Kat Cora on her side of Kitchen Stadium has a pot of coconut milk, lemongrass, and curry powder.
I spy that. Iron Chef Cora now pulling those whole crab out of the water and setting them in some ice baths to help stop the cooking. Over on the Challenger side, Vincent has got a little sliced pancetta. He's got that going into the convection oven. Pancetta, of course, being a cured pork product from the belly of the pig.
This may be the fastest team of challenges we've had here in Kitchen Stadium for some time. Everyone is just moving with enormous speed.
They are indeed, Kevin, but with only 49 minutes left in the battle, time is always a concern. Sous Chef Patrice now cutting the charred kernels off the cobs of corn. A little further down, the equally speedy Vincent is finally chopping some almonds. Those now going into a pan with some onions and sugar in it. Ooh, Chef got hold of a bad avocado there, and that happens. And he's not liking that one either. Do not wave your knife at me. I did not buy the produce, Chef.
Maybe you should have.
The Chef not happy with the looks of the avocado today. And we've got a big fire. We've got some charcoal being started on a small grill grate on the wok burner. Of course, you shouldn't try this at home, kids. Not only are the fumes from charcoal quite dangerous, you could burn the house down. There, over on the Iron Chef side, our eye in the sky, looking down on a big wallop of crab meat down in a bowl. Much like lobsters, these crabs are not naturally red. That carotenoid pigment is tied up in a protein matrix that's released during the cooking process. Well, the heat is on and the flames are growing here in Kitchen Stadium. It's Iron Chef Kat Cora taking on Chef Walter Scheib in Battle Dungeness Crab. The Iron Chef has her whole crabs out of the water. A puree of peppers, onion, and scallion is standing by in one bowl, while diced peppers, galangal, and avocado are standing by in another bowl. The challenger, Walter Scheib, has crabs that have been wok fried and are now roasting in the oven. The Patrice has mirepoix and crab on the stove, and the deep-fried plantains are on the counter and standing by. We'll get back to the action when Iron Chef America returns. Hi kids, welcome back to Kitchen Stadium. This is Iron Chef America Battle Dungeness Crab. It is raging on between the challenger, Chef Scheib, and Iron Chef Kat Cora. The Iron Chef is cracking open her boiled crab and saving the livers into a bowl. Her hibiscus tea has been strained and added to a mix of milk and eggs. Some crab meat has been added to the pepper and onion puree. Now, the challenger, Chef Scheib, is slicing some new avocados. His roasted cord kernels are on the stove with some onion and crab stock, and some tomatoes have been sliced and placed in a pot. They've got some pretty good culinary noggins, but they're not the only ones in the house. I speak, of course, of our judges. To introduce them, we will go to Kevin Brosh.
Thanks, Elton. Con Benoit, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Here come the judges. Our first judge is the food and wine specialist on the Emmy Award-winning Queer Eye. He's also an accomplished writer whose cookbook, The Food You Want to Eat, Ted Allen. Next, she won a Tony Award for her performance as the original Ula in the Broadway production of The Producers. She co-stars in the upcoming movie Romance and Cigarettes, which has been described as a down and dirty musical. Katie Huffman. Finally, he's a regular contributor to the dining section of the New York Times. He's the author of Pizza, A Slice of Heaven, and co-author with Chef Dave Pasternak of the upcoming Young Man in the Sea, Ed Levine.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll get back to the judges in just a minute, but first, let us catch up with the action on the floor. Iron Chef Kat Cora is adding some Dijon mustard and sriracha sauce to her puree. That's hot stuff. Before that, she added some olive oil and lime juice to her avocado and diced pepper mixture. Her sous chef Eric has placed some sliced ginger and Asian pear into a bowl, now beginning to break down some edamame, soybeans, of course. Her other sous chef Brian doing a nice fillet on some red and yellow peppers. I can now see the challenger, Chef Scheib, has his sliced avocado in a bowl with some basil, I think. Sous Chef Vincent grinding what appears to be cumin, coriander, and I think some cayenne pepper in that mortar and pestle you see there. Before that, he brought out some scallops and dropped them into the food processor. So sort of a scallop mousse or puree thing going on here. So now, with just 37 minutes left in Battle Dungeness Crab, we are all caught up. So let's go check with the judges.
I love crab. It's such a great taste all by itself. I don't know, everything looks fantastic.
Well, thanks for that insight.
I guess, know. There's not much. I'm just getting very hungry.
Okay, I'm going to leave you and go down to Ted. Ted, crab, you, talk about it now.
I'm feeling crabby. I think I've come to the right place. I love Dungeness crab. I have to say also, with the flavors and the ingredients that we're seeing both Iron Chef Cora and Chef Scheib putting into practice here, I can't wait to eat some of this stuff.
Let's move down to the other end of the table. Hi, Ed. Are you a crab lover yourself?
To me, it is one of the truly superior tastes that someone can put before me, because there's such a wonderful texture and sweetness to Dungeness crab that is unmatched by any other ingredient.
Wow, it's a love ode to Dungeness crab. Thank you very much. We'll get back down onto the floor. Now, I'm starting to smell a lot of different aromas here. Looking over on the challenger side, I spy sous chef Patrice ladling some stock from the brandied mirepoix into the pot of boiling sweet potatoes. Chef Scheib is chopping up some Napa cabbage, and the lightning-fast Patrice is adding some honey to a pot. Can't handle that very quickly, can you? The Iron Chef adding some breadcrumbs to her crab puree mixture. Her sous chef Eric is adding those edamame to the small vessel there with the Asian pear. Her other sous chef Brian is adding slices of red and yellow peppers to a pot of tomatoes and onions. And we've also got some gosh darn big, those almost look like pomelos on Iron Chef Kat Cora's board.
These are Caracara oranges.
Caracara oranges?
Yep.
It is kind of a little bit like a blood orange as far as its color on the inside. Sweet, and is of course a navel orange. You see the challenger quickly dispatching a red onion, frenching that with what appears to be a Santuco. Down at the sink station, I see Vincent scooping the scallop mousse out of the food processor bowl and into some crab meat. Some cream now heading into the pot of honey on the stove. Over with the Iron Chef, they're adding some shredded crab meat to the small vessel with the edamame and pear in it, Asian pear. The mix of egg, milk, and hibiscus tea being added to that bowl also. So, a crab custard in the works there. Gosh, it seems, Kevin, that we saw way back when custard once in a bowl like that. It was a chawanmushi, or a traditional egg custard. And I wonder if that's something that Iron Chef Cora might be doing here. Over on the challenger side, still a lot of kind of prep work going on, a lot of slicing and dicing. We see him starting to julienne out that fillet of tomato there on his board. I see the wok fried crab is being pulled out of the oven, and Vincent is now putting those into an ice bath, kind of shocking that down so it doesn't overcook. Sous Chef Patrice has the tomato and onion mixture off the stove and into a blender. Iron Chef Kat Cora looks like she is plating something. There's the pieces of Carcara orange that she so gently sliced. Seems a little early to be plating, but apparently not for the Iron Chef. We're almost at the halfway mark in this battle. I can usually start to try to get an idea of what some of the dishes are. I cannot do that today. We can see that Eric over on the Iron Chef side laying out some rings, some custard rings that he's taking some plastic wrap and he's putting over those. And I see a rubber band on his right hand, so he's going to be banding that. Don't know what he's going to be filling that with.
It's going to be a crab tiance, basically crab with some mango, radish, and apple champagne mousse.
Okay, a tian is a French casserole type of device that is layered and molded. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it comes together. Back with the challenger. Chef Shibe has some sliced pineapple in a tray, now peeling some mango. I all had a fruit to play here today. Kat Cora's got a fascinating way of getting creme fraiche out of the container. Instead of simply removing the lid by lifting it up away from its interlocking device, she just simply whacked off the whole top of the thing. The woman is positively medieval. On the challenger side, Sous Chef Patrice has the pot of charred corn off the stove. The hand blender now turning that pot into a corn puree, coulis type of mixture. Also, on the challenger side, I spy the almond and sugar mixture laid out on a hotel pan. Maybe a crab dessert of some type in the works there. Over with the Iron Chef, she is taking her crab puree mixture and patting out something that looks a lot like crab cakes.
Croquettes.
Croquettes, sorry. Gosh darn it. If she didn't give me grief, no one else would. We can see those little custards now going into the steamer, and we've got Eric putting a little towel action over that to hold in the steam before the lid goes on. Very traditional move. Brian is quartering those whole crabs now. That they cooked a little bit earlier. They cooked them whole, but now they have quartered them.
Have elapsed.
Well, halfway through Battle Dungeness Crab, and things are just starting to heat up. Iron Chef Kat Cora has her crab and egg custards in the steamer. Her crab cake, crab croquettes are being formed, and her whole crabs are being cut into quarters. The challenger, Walter Shibe, has his wok fried crab chilling nicely in an ice bath. His scallop mousse is being mixed with some crab meat, and some sweet potatoes are boiling away on the stove. Iron Chef America will be right back. Hi kids, we're back in Kitchen Stadium. You are watching Iron Chef America battle Dungeness Crab between our challenger, Chef Shibe, and Iron Chef Kat Cora. The Iron Chef has taken her crab quarters and added a dry rub of garlic salt, cayenne, and paprika. Her crab croquettes are in the deep fryer, and some green apples have been run through a grater. The challenger, Walter Shibe, has blended and strained his tomato mixture. Some asparagus tips have been cut, and some red and yellow beets are being sliced. Let's get back to the action, shall we? There we have Kat Cora thinly slicing some jicama on her board. Her sous chef Eric is squeezing the juice out of some freshly grated apple. It looks like some phyllo dough is being handled by Vincent over on the challenger side. He's going ahead and he's basting it down with butter. Don't know what he's going to be rolling into that. Chef Shibe is now cutting up some oranges, those pieces going into a shallow casserole there. Before that, the chef laid out his sliced red and yellow beets in a baking dish next to the asparagus tips. I don't know whether those are all destined for the same dish or not. Sous Chef Vincent forming his mix of scallop mousse and crab into patties, and those are heading into the fry pan. And I'm not sure where it is, but I smell curry.
It's a coconut curry tapioca combination on the Iron Chef side of the kitchen.
Coconut, curry, tapioca. Okay, so some heat, a little coolness to balance it out. Now we've got pureed mixture going into a chinois, or very fine straining device, on the challenger side. That is the sweet potato mixture that was on the stove. That was given a quick puree and is now being strained. Over with the Iron Chef, Kat Cora taking a quick check of the crab croquettes in the deep fryer. Her sous chef Brian was just slicing up some bread. The crab livers they scooped out earlier are now in a bowl with some garlic. Vincent, over on the challenger side, we can see that is a mixture of Dungeness crab, saffron, currants, and toasted almonds that have been rolled up in that phyllo dough. We can only assume that they're going to roast that. You see he's getting a little scoring there to let the steam out. Almost looks like Bastilla.
That's what it is, Alton. You got it.
Ha! I was right. Bastilla, a Moroccan dish. But hey, doesn't it usually have chicken in it?
Yes, it does, but since today the secret ingredient is crab, we're using crab. If it was chicken, we'd use chicken.
And logical that would be, sir. Over on the Iron Chef side, trying to catch up the action, I see you're adding some coriander to her avocado and pepper mixture. Sous Chef Brian with his bread pieces and garlic in a fry pan. Some champagne now out with Sous Chef Eric. The pan headed over to the stove. Now we know that'll be part of a champagne apple mousse for a crab tan. Cat Cora with a jar of something. I'll open it for you if you tell me what it is.
Ginger root.
Ginger root.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Hey, no fair, no fair. Get back up in your
I
stand.
opened a jar, Chef. Come on.
Get back up there.
She gave me some intel I needed. The expertly opened ginger root is out of the jar. Cat Cora now slicing that ever so thinly. On the challenger side, Chef Shibe is slicing some onions into rings very skillfully. Down the line, I see Vincent is sauteing their version of crab cake. Those are pretty gosh darn good looking in that nonstick pan there. Coming out of the fryer over on the Iron Chef side, Kevin, are those the croquettes?
Those croquettes are now done. Cat Cora just pulled those out moments ago.
Well, it's a good thing because we only have 20 minutes left in this battle. Over on the challenger side, Sous Chef Patrice loading up a number of squeeze bottles. He's got one with the corn coulis. The one he just finished is the tomato puree, and now he has a third bottle that should make plating go very quickly. On Cat Cora's side of the kitchen, Sous Chef Brian is putting the spice-covered crab quarters into the convection oven to roast. The Iron Chef has combined the sliced ginger root with the jicama and some cilantro. All of that going on the plate with the cara orange pieces. Kevin, you're doing a lot of ciphering on your paper there. What you got for me, buddy?
You know that there was some basil went in the microwave.
Yes, we say basil in the United States, Kevin.
You can say it both ways, though, technically.
Well,
okay.
This is America.
Okay.
Iron Chef America.
Into the microwave between sheets of layered plastic wrap, just to crunching it up.
Oh, hold on just a second. We've got smoking happening now over on the challenger side. That charcoal went into a pot. There may have been some wood chip involved in that. The crab cakes went in on top of that and into the oven.
So like a smoked crab cake.
It is a smoked crab cake. My spies tell me those were alder wood chips on top of the charcoal that was creating that smoke. And Iron Chef Cat Cora plating. And she's taken one of her little croquettes. She's cut it in half and she's made a little sandwich out of it. And you can see the avocado mixture on top of the croquette. It's cute. The second half of the croquette now going on top, kind of making a little fried crab sandwich. Very nice presentation there. Looking over, can see some apples being cut up by Eric. I'm not sure what Brian's doing down there. He's been quiet down there.
Elton, Brian's working on some spring rolls with some crab meat, some espelette, and some fennel.
Okay, so that whole mixture now being wrapped in some rice paper. I'm not sure which course that will be for. Over the challenger, the smoker is out of the oven, so just a quick smoke to those crab cakes. Sous Chef Patrice now working with two very large saute pans, one with the asparagus tips and the other with the sliced red and yellow beets. Should be a great flavor in all those items. Well, time is ticking away here in Battle Dungeness Crab. The Iron Chef has her spiced rubbed crab quarters in the oven, her crab custards are in the steamer, and her fried crab and avocado sandwich is already on the plate. And it's cute. The challenger has his crab pastilla in the oven, his smoked crab cakes are standing by, and his oven-roasted crab are chilling out. See whose cuisine will reign supreme today. Will it be Chef Shibe, Iron Chef Cora? Find out when Iron Chef America returns. Welcome back, kids. This is Battle Dungeness Crab raging behind me in Kitchen Stadium. Let me tell you, if you can't take the heat, you best get out of the kitchen. Oh, you're not in the kitchen. You're in your living room watching television. Oh, well, we'll handle the heat for you. The Iron Chef has her roasted crab out of the convection oven. Some gelatin was added to the champagne, and it is now being mixed with apple juice. Some radish and mango are also being diced. The challenger, Chef Shibe, has his crab pastilla out of the oven. Some chives are being finely chopped, and his roasted crab is off the ice, and its various parts are being split open. Let's rejoin the action. The challenger dosing out oil into a couple of really large skillets. Looks like he's getting ready to fire off an awful lot of food. We now see some Dungeness legs coming out on Vincent's board.
On that board, Vincent has, there's a mixture of a crisp pancetta, juice, lemon zest, basil, and some crab meat.
Okay, so that is where the wok fried and roasted crab pieces ended up. On Cat Cora's side, Sous Chef Eric working on a mixture of crab, mango, apple, and radish. Obviously, we'll track that as it moves.
Nice fire on the challenger side of Kitchen Stadium. And I think that's a tequila flambe, if I'm not mistaken.
Tequila. A little flambe action on some red onions that Chef Shibe is sauteing. Some slices of mango and banana are now joining the pan. thinking that maybe this could be a cooked salsa or a cooked salad that he's going to serve with his crab cake.
Elton,
go.
Look at Patrice O'Maddock right now has just taken these fabulous serving vessel, lined it with some egg white, and it's finely chopped chive that you can just see him working with there right now.
Raw egg white directly onto the vessel. I haven't seen that done before, but you can very clearly see that chive around the outside. Gosh, that's a beautiful thing. It's sitting in its own little tripod. You can see some onion slices in a nonstick pan over on the Challenger side, taking on a good bit of color. Chef Shive now dropping his Napa cabbage into one of those large saute pans. Vincent still breaking down crab pieces over on the sink station. There we go, over on the Iron Chef side. We now see those ring molds that we were talking about earlier. The ones that got the plastic wrap and the rubber bands are out. In those, they have placed the crab apple mango mixture, the champagne and apple mousse going on top of that, thus creating the tians we heard about earlier. Eric now running that whole tray over to the blast chiller for a chill. The Iron Chef with one of the roasted crab quarters in hand. She is now plating that into the sort of angled bowl there. Now that beautiful glass that got the egg white and chive running there on the Challenger side is now being plated. It looks like he's almost assembling a parfait out of different pieces. The avocado and fennel mixture is in that glass. We see the tomato puree coming out of the squeeze bottle. The pieces of crab meat and pancetta going down on top of that tomato. So the first dish is down and ready for the Challenger.
Avocado and basil
We're
salad.
talking about 7.5 minutes left here in this battle, ladies and gentlemen.
good.
So things need to be hitting plates,
that's good.
or at least in the case of the Challenger, he's got some plates, he's got some lumps of rock. It looks like, ceramic tiles, all manner of serving vessels. The Iron Chef now over by her roasted crab dish. She is now spooning that tapioca and curry and coconut mixture over that quarter of Dungeness crab.
Right there,
Beautiful
right there.
plating.
Behind me, right on my cutting board.
The sauteing still being done over on the Challenger side. It's brown sugar and some crab leg. All right, the soup that we've seen working ever since Patrice O'Maddock started cutting up those sweet potatoes is out. Chef Shive plating that into the black bowl there. Before that, he put a bed of sauteed Napa cabbage on the bottom of the dish. The roasted corn coulis now headed for that red plate you see. Chef Shive looking quite cool and collected. Our Chef Katkora a bit more frantic at this point with only 5 minutes to go. A piece of toast going next to the roasted crab quarter. The mixture of crab liver and garlic has been spread on top of that. Sous Chef Brian working with his spring roll.
They're actually now being done in the fry pan.
Okay, frying those, okay.
Challenger is now just on his third plate.
Third plate, fine. Okay, that is the warm fruit salsa going down on the roasted corn coulis. Sous Chef Vincent now bringing over the smoked crab cake. Sous Chef Patrice adding the crab leg pieces that were sauteed in the molasses and brown sugar to the sweet potato soup. Let's see, Iron Chef Katkora now with her pot of red and yellow bell pepper pieces. That concoction going down on a long, thin plate.
Eric, how's the chawanmushi?
Okay, the chawanmushi, we hear her calling for that. Usually gets green tea put on it, and our chef's case, she's using a hibiscus tea for that instead. Our Chef Katkora now adding more of that tea to the tire. We've also got marsh crabs now on our Chef Katkora's side. Walter Schott adding a sauteed pieces of red and yellow beets to that sort of rock plate thing that he's got there. Some of the sauteed asparagus tips went onto that plate earlier. Some sliced orange pieces now going on there as well.
Did you season these things?
On the Iron Chef side, the marsh crabs just came out of the deep fryer, and they've been rolled in a little salt.
Elton, that was actually sugar they were rolled in, not salt.
Sugar. So those are obviously dessert crabs now. The Challenger now adding his tequila, onions, and microgreens to the rock vegetable plate. One of the crab claws is going on top of that, too. Over on Katkora's side, we see that tian has been plated with the champagne mousse over on her side. Some microgreens going on top of that tian. Brian's still working with spring rolls in the fry pan.
1 minute
60 seconds left in this battle, ladies and gentlemen. There's still a good bit of food in the works on both sides of this kitchen. Sous Chef Patrice on the Challenger side, dropping the caramelized honey into that clear serving tray. Lots of unique service devices on that side. The tripod glass with a tomato and avocado parfait. We see the crisp basil leaf on top of that, perching. There's the sweet potato soup in the black bowl. We know that the Challenger's got his crab bastilla. You can see that going down on the saffron and honey sauce. There is a salad working over there. We know he's got his crab cake, deep fried plantain chips on top of that. So that is his fifth dish. Iron Chef Katkora just plated that spring roll. So it looks like everything's coming together. She's got her egg custard, marsh crab there, hanging on for, well, he's dead. The tian, the sandwich, which she's got with that avocado salsa. It's going to be a very, very close finish, however, for the Iron Chef. who seems to be plating up that crab bouillon that she was working on. 15 seconds and counting. Kat Cora, final check on her plates. Roasted crab is her 5th dish. No time for her traditional shot of ouzo with her chefs. Chef Shive with time for his team to pose for a picture. Walk away, ladies and gentlemen. Battle Dungeness crab is over.
Yeah, ouzo. Where's the
Too late for ouzo. Judgment cometh when Iron Chef America returns. Well, the time has come for our Pavlovian judges to dig into their crabby treats. But before they can dig in, we've got some rules to go over, and nobody is better at this than Kevin Brosh.
Absolutely, Elton. Here's how it all goes down. Each judge can award a chef up to 20 points, with 10 points possible for taste, 5 points for plating design, and finally...
You cook out there.
That was a lot of fun. Had a great time.
Very
Thank you.
impressive.
Thank you very much.
Would you please tell us what your inspiration was for today's secret ingredient?
As we go through the menu here, we've tried to build a flow where you start out a little bit mild and work up to a peak and then sweep back down again towards the salad and the dessert. On top of that, we decided just to have a little bit of fun with the presentation. So I hope everybody enjoys it. Well, the first dish, this is a cocktail of fennel and tomato and avocados. And we've taken some crab and we've put a little basil and lemon oil on it. Just almost a natural dish. Very little flavoring to mask the flavors of the crab meat.
This serving piece makes it look like you were formerly the chef on the Starship Enterprise or something. Now, would you use this at a state dinner?
Probably not. These are all custom-made pieces that I had made just for the show.
If this is starting off mild for you, I can't wait to see the next.
I love the presentation. It's very fun and a fun way to start a meal. And then the aroma was very pleasing. And then tasting, it's just delicious.
So now your taste buds are all wakened up, right?
They woke up and you just startled them and made them very happy.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
You know, I was worried, Walter, that the crab was going to be overwhelmed by the number of ingredients, but actually the crab comes through really nicely.
Thank you so much, sir. What we've done is made a red curried sweet potato soup, which was sweet potatoes sweated in some of the crab stock that we made. We've added ginger and kaffir leaf and coconut milk and a little bit of red curry paste. We've got underneath it some Napa cabbage, and on top this wonderful big nugget of crab there, and we've taken that and put that in an Indonesian satay sauce.
Oh. It's a little spicier than I was expecting.
Okay.
But really good. And I love the use of ginger. It's such a complex little plate. It's really remarkable. I like it very much.
I really appreciate the silkiness of the soup and the way that the complexity and the balance here is wonderful. I love that you've got the crispy note from the cabbage. And I also really enjoy the level of heat on the piece of crab meat as well.
Wonderful, thank you so much. No menu of crab could possibly be complete without a crab cake. We've bound it with just the lightest bit of scallop mousse and just folded it together. Now, underneath it you have chipotle chilies and jalapenos. The sauce is roasted corn coulis with chipotle. The fruit itself, it's banana, little fingerling bananas, mangoes, and pineapple. So it's a lot of the components of a regular salsa, but we've cut it larger, and we've also served it warm.
You know, I appreciate the fact that you tried to do the crab cake using no binder, but sort of collapsed in a heap. The flavors are great, but I guess I like my crab cakes a little firmer. I don't want them to become a parfait before my eyes.
Actually, I liked the texture because what held it together seemed to be cooking it. But once again, you've put together these different ingredients, so every time I take a bite, I'm experiencing something new, and it's really an exciting dish to eat.
Thank you. Now we're actually going to the crab claw. You can see you've got roasted beets and grilled Vidalia onions, some asparagus, and microgreens. Now, having come off, of course, it's a little bit spicy. Now we're going to start to cool down the palate and work towards dessert. So, enjoy.
You know, I want to say I especially appreciate the way you're talking us through the whole crab. The texture and flavor of all those different parts is different,
it really is.
And you're treating them differently, and I appreciate that. I also have to say I love the humor and the history and wit in the salad. I like the vinaigrette very much. Yeah, I think it works beautifully.
Thank you, sir.
What I love about this dish is you really taste how good Dungeness crab is. The sweetness of the crab just shines through, you know, like a laser. Just the whole thing works.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent, Chef. Next course, please.
The dish is called a pastilla, and it's historically made with saffron poached chicken and raisins and almonds, and it's wrapped in phyllo The sauce that we've taken with here is a caramelized honey. We've just taken some lavender honey and just reduced it down in a pan just to turn the color a little bit and give a little bit more richness to it, so it's not quite so sweet. And we've added some saffron to it and just a little touch of cream just to give it some texture.
Once again, you've managed to not just make it just a mash of flavor. I can taste every ingredient separately, and I love the surprise of the crab. I just thought it was terrific.
You know, I honestly think I probably would like this better if it didn't have the crab in it, but maybe that's just me being kind of locked into a traditional idea of what dessert is. I love the saffron, I love the aroma, the filo was perfectly done. I love the almonds. I think it was a very interesting move.
Thank you.
Chef Shaib, an excellent first time here in Kitchen Stadium. Thank you so much.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you all.
Iron Chef Cora, always exciting to watch you cook.
Thank you very much.
What was your inspiration for today's secret ingredient?
I really wanted to bring out some of the classical sides of it, some of the more refined ways of eating crab, but also go a little global too.
May we begin?
Absolutely. What I have here is a crab tian, and the bottom part is crab, green apple, a mango, a little bit of radish, and then the top is a green apple and champagne mousse. So please enjoy.
Iron Chef, what a marvelously sophisticated and beautiful dish this is. Champagne and green apple mousse is a lovely foil, I think, to the sweetness of the crab, and quite just exquisitely beautiful preparation too.
There's something so delightful about this dish. And maybe because I'm a girl, it's kind of a girly dish.
Well, it is a wonderfully light dish. I was a little concerned about the texture of the mousse. There was a little too much air beaten into the mousse, but the whole thing worked. It's a lovely way to start a meal.
This is a crab cake sandwich. It's got all the classic ingredients, the jalapeno, cilantro, peppers, onions, scallions. And then I just took a really nice salsa, just really brought out the essence of the avocado. A little ambrosia in the bottom with just a little crushed cara to give it a little citrus kick. And then a slaw, a little jicama ginger root slaw on the side.
It's an excellent crab cake or crab croquette. And it's great, and I do love that fruit. And I like going back and forth. The two textures complement each other perfectly. The taste, I just think it's really, really great.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is my kind of crab cake. Doesn't melt, doesn't become a fallen souffle. I could have picked this up with my hands, but I had to hear from my wife when it aired. It would have been really ugly.
It would have been ugly.
So, anyway,
Thank you.
This is my kind of crab cake.
Well, now we're taking a trip to the Basque region of Spain. We've made as a rice paper galette. We've used all parts of the crab, the claw, the leg, the body. We've just lightly seared it. We took some gorgeous baby fennel and just shaved it very lightly. And we actually used the broth that we steam the crabs in with all the flavoring and added smoky paprika to it just to give it a complement to the dish. So enjoy.
Crab, I always think of it as such a delicate meat, and actually you're showing how it can be used even with some fairly intense flavors and still kind of somehow stand up.
It's just three very distinct flavors, and they go together so well. It's very pleasing. I think this part of the dish is a little bit plain without adding that, and but you said absolutely to mix them, and that's exactly the right thing to do with this dish, I think, and it's terrific.
We had to do a roasted crab. What we've done is we've taken a half of roasted crab, we've done a spice rub, some paprika, cayenne, oven roasted it, and then took the tamale out of the top and made a tamale toast out of it with a little bit of a scallion, onion, some of the tamale, and then we've got a beautiful coconut tapioca curry sauce for it.
I have to say, when I'm in a restaurant, I'm generally kind of lazy, but I appreciate that you did this because I think it's inherent to the crab experience. So I'm glad that you presented it that way, and I think it's really cool.
Well, I could just eat the broth and the toast for like days. The crab, although it had good flavor, dried out when you roasted it. And sort of the more I dug into the claw, the drier the meat got. But it was easily solved because I just put it in the broth, and that broth, as I said, could satisfy me for days.
This is a very classic Japanese steamed custard called chawanmushi. The idea is that it's a treasure hunt. The treasures in our dish are edamame. We've got candied ginger, and at the very bottom you'll find, of course, the treasure of the day, which is Dungeness crab. Then we put some really, which I love, the little marsh crabs, which we just deep fried and almost candied a little bit.
Well, I think the presentation is really is adorable. I'm not getting a big crab flavor, and the texture is not the most beautiful, but you are combining some pretty crazy things here.
Yeah, it's adventurous. It's a lot of different tastes, and a lot of tastes that I like. I'm not certain I like it all together, and the texture of the top is not my favorite, but there are tastes in there that I just adore, and the presentation is really beautiful.
Yeah, this is a kind of a crabless wonder to me. It doesn't really work, although I like all the individual elements of it. And the texture, it's sort of, the custard is breaking up, and I guess it could be because of all the stuff you put in it.
Excellent, Iron Chef.
Thank you
Always
very
exciting
much.
to have you.
Thanks.
Who leaves laughing? Who leaves crying? The verdict in Iron Chef America returns. Hi, food fans. Welcome back to Iron Chef America. This has been a Battle Dungeness Crab, and it's the moment that we have all been waiting for, the verdict. Let us remember, there are 20 possible points in the competition. 10 are given for taste and flavor, 5 for presentation, and a final 5 for originality. Now let's go up to the chairman and find out whose cuisine reigns supreme.
Today, two champions met and battled Dungeness Crab here in Kitchen Stadium. Iron Chef Cora, Chef Shaib. The judges have spoken, and the winner is Chef Shaib.
So an impressive total of 55 points for Chef Walter Shaib. And while originality ended up a tie, wins in both taste and plating are what helped carry the day for Chef Shaib and his team. As for Chef Shaib, he goes off and adds Iron Chef America champ to his already formidable resume. As for Iron Chef Katkura, well, she'll go sharpen her culinary claws and prepare to fight another day. And so it goes. I'm Alton Brown on behalf of the chairman, Kevin Brosh, and everyone here at Kitchen Stadium. I bid you good eating.